Did you feel, even though you didn't get the armbar in the first round, that in a way you maybe elevated your game because Miesha fought a really good fight too, and you showed dominance in a lot of different positions tonight?
Well, I feel like my biggest challenge I have when fighting is I'm kind of like in a rush, in a hurry, because judo matches are only 5 minutes long. So I always kind of feel like I have to get it done within that time period. That's what I'd spent over a decade and a half learning. And so I felt like after that first round ended, then I was still kind of feeling like a little bit antsy because I was in the second round for the first time. And when we got to the third round, I really felt like I wasn't tired, and I was finally learning to be patient, and I accepted, like, okay, let's go 5 rounds, you're winning a lot of everything so far. Really pay attention to what you're doing, don't just throw for the sake of it, doing everything for a reason. And it really forced me to focus a lot more, and I feel like that's why the third round was when I finally was able to finish it.
Obviously, I know you said you're pretty much immune to the booze by this point in your life, but are you surprised at all at the reaction, not only that you got pre-fight, but also post-fight as well, that it was such a strong kind of hatred for you in there?
No, I wasn't surprised at all. I was aware of the role that I was in. And this is the favorite analogy that I use, is that Batman played the bad guy and let Scarface look like the good guy, because that's what Gotham City needed at the time. So for every fight, I approach it for what's needed at the time.
And finally, now that the emotions are kind of over and you had a little chance to let it subside, I mean, any regret at all that you didn't shake the hand? People say it was poor sportsmanship. That's not what we're used to seeing in MMA. Any regret at all, or do you feel like you're just staying true to yourself?
I feel like that the day that she formally apologizes to my coach Edmund and Chris Beal, and they accept that apology, then I'll consider shaking her hand again. But like I said up there, that booze are not more important to me than my family. If I feel like you've done wrong against my family, you need to make that right before I can shake your hand. It means something to me. It's not something I just throw out there. She's a great fighter. It was an amazing fight that she put out, and she has my respect entirely in that regard. But she really needs to make up a few things that she's done before I will shake her hand.
Ronda, I would say your inventiveness tonight with your jiu-jitsu was really kind of a standout thing in my mind watching you. Was that something that you knew you'd really need, different positions and different ways to finish the fight with Miesha?
Well, for the last 2 camps, I've been training with Henry here on Greasy, and we focused a lot on being on the worst case scenarios, and I trained a lot being on the bottom, and being places where I traditionally would never be in a judo match, and so I really tried to fill those holes, and I really think that helped in the positions I was in, and still doing the most damage, even though it would be considered a bad position, and it really gave me a whole lot more confidence and stuff. And the inventiveness, I think it comes out. I improvise when I fight, and so the better my opponent is, and the more that they really push me to have answers for what I do, the more it causes me to really innovate and improvise more. And so Miesha did an amazing job tonight, and she helped me to really show more of what I'm capable of.
Rousey versus McMann, February. That's the headliner.
And that's a fast turnaround.
She goes right back into camp.
Your thoughts on that, Ron?
Dana actually approached me about this before this fight, and I wanted to stay focused on this one, but I'd taken such a long time off that I feel like I want to fight again soon. I don't want to sit on the shelf, and I'm in the best shape of my life now, so I think it'd be the perfect time just to go back to back. I'm ready to get back into it. I'm still hungry, and this is what I love to do. And so, yeah, hopefully I'll have another good show for you guys very soon. But at least I have some time to go Christmas shopping and stuff first. And I'll take like a week or 2. I'll try to rest a little bit, but this is what I love to do. I'm going to do it, and I feel like I could fight again tonight.
So Kat Zingano is here tonight too, and she goes back into training in March, right? So start training again in March. Hopefully stay healthy and we can do that fight.
I wanted to ask, and you Ryan too for that matter, I wanted to ask, what was your favorite room in the Ultimate Fighter's house?
I didn't like anything about that house.
Don't get Ronda going on the Ultimate Fighter. That's all I need right now.
And So each of you, could you talk about your own gym in your house, where you work out in your house?
I have like little balls that I hang all around my house. So like when you walk past them, any room that you go into, you have to like shadow box at them. And I have different little things. I have one like a double-end one. So it's like my whole house is kind of gym-ish, but there's no like gym section. There's just, if you're walking through the house, you're gonna hit your head onto something if you don't weave out of the way. You know what I mean? So.
And looking back on it, honestly, given the filming that you did and everything, do you think that affected, your ability in this fight? Was it a more difficult fight because of those distractions?
Well, obviously not her, since I'm doing another fight very soon. And yeah, going and doing those movies did make it much more difficult, much on purpose. I don't do this for a living and do things that are easy. I need to keep finding ways to challenge myself. And that's what I needed to do to make this fight more of a challenge for me.
You referenced the movies, and that was unbelievable. You went through the TV show and the 2 movies to come in to do this. What was the most difficult thing about doing that? Like, what made it the hardest to do all that you did preparing for this fight?
I think the hardest thing was being alone a lot of the time. I was in Bulgaria for 8 weeks, and I brought out Chris Spiel and Marina for short stints, but I was mostly by myself. I had to be really entirely self-motivated. My coach Edmund was helping Victor Chinian train for a title fight, so yeah, I just had to on my own wake up at 4 a.m. make myself run up the stairs. I film all day, 16 hours, and on my own I had to just be like, all right, drive into the mountains, just run up the mountains. Like, it was the hardest part was staying self-motivated and staying creative and finding ways to get training in despite the less than ideal training camp circumstances.
And finally, Victor Ortiz, I know, was over there filming. Were you able to at least throw hands with him, and did that help you at all? Working with a guy, a high-level boxer like that?
Me and Victor did keep each other mutually motivated a lot of the time. So like, we were running up through the mountains, he'd run up and we screamed next to me, "And still!" Like while running up the mountain. And what's it called? We would go to the boxing gym. He set up the place we could go, and we mostly did like distance things. So he would try to get away from me, and I would try to be able to clinch with him without getting hit, stuff like that. But yeah, even if he was just on one side of the gym hitting a bag, and I was like, a few feet away wrestling around with some Bulgarian dudes, it was just nice to have company in the gym. It's hard to show up somewhere alone and really just kind of force yourself in that environment, especially, I kind of stand out a little bit, and some of these guys are kind of big and gnarly, and it's nice to be like, hey, yo, Victor, if anyone, I didn't feel like I was going to get it, if anything bad was going to happen, because I had someone like Victor Ortiz having my back just in case.